And we are back to savings. Investment actuary Hildegard Wilson has crunched the numbers and says that simply by giving up your one cappuccino a day, you could save 40,000 Rand in 5 years and 90,000 Rand over a decade. Hildegard, you have to tell us more. Welcome to the studio, but you have to start and tell us why and how we can save so much money.
Right, thank you for having me here. So it is in the numbers exactly what you're saying. So what I've done is I've done an analysis. Is if you save the 25 Rand a day you would have spent on a cappuccino, you can add it up to 500 Rand a month, which adds up to the 40,000 Rand you've been talking about and over 90,000 Rand in a decade. So that is just staggering amounts, and that is the power of compounding.
But it also gives us an example just of how easy it is for the little breadcrumbs of savings to add up. Because very often we have in our heads, we have to be saving large amounts of money. And very often we have in our heads that only the wealthy can save, because we don't see it as where we can cut down.
Yes.
What about a smoker?
So the same goes for a smoker. So if they give up their 3 packets of cigarettes a week that I mentioned in the article, they can save even more than the cappuccino.
It says here that after a year, you would have a total of 5,544 Rand saved in a year.
That's only for a year, giving that up. So even if you include the life insurance benefit that you would get from giving up smoking, as well, of course, the health benefits of giving up smoking, it adds up to even more.
It actually adds up to 154,000 Rand after a decade. 154,000 Rand after a decade. If you stop smoking today, you could save 154,000 Rand within 10 years. And something that we then have to look at is how much one can actually do with that lump sum.
Exactly.
If you took that little bit of money every day and you put it aside, if you put that money aside after 5 years or after 10 years, what could you do with that money?
So I think the big point here that I'm trying to make is that you should not spend it now again, because that is the trap that we fall in. We take that cigarette, we put it away, we don't have our cappuccino, but then we spend it on something else. So we need to change our mindset here of actually taking that 25 Rand a year, taking the cost of that packet of cigarettes on a weekly basis and putting it away somewhere. Now, like you mentioned earlier, we don't need 1,000 Rand to start saving. Start small. Start thinking small about your saving. Put that 100 Rand away a week, a month even, and you will see it adding up slowly but surely.
How does one keep track of it? And where would you suggest one puts it?
Okay, so first of all, I would suggest probably your bank account. That's the first easiest place to go to. When you then want to invest it for the longer term, and we are talking about 5 years, probably a longer term, you go to your financial advisor. That's the best place to go to. He will show you where to put those small savings that align with your interest and your needs. You might need the ability to draw on that capital quickly. There's another product for that instead of a product that you don't need to draw money from. So there's different products for different needs, and your financial advisor can help with that.
Something that you've also written, which is very interesting, is that you've got to set yourself small challenges and turn your hobby into extra income. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Okay, let's start with the saving challenge. So I want to put this out there. Start setting yourself a challenge. I've set myself the cappuccino challenge. I can hear my coffeeholic friends shouting here in the background, but that's my challenge, is to not have that daily cappuccino on my way to work. It might be something different for you. It might be that you love chatting over the telephone or using your data to surf Facebook. So instead of doing that, just set yourself a small challenge that I'm not going to use my data. I'm rather going to go to the hotspot and use their data. So with those small savings adding up, as we said, it adds up to huge amounts. Set yourself small targets.
So it's about knowing your lifestyle and knowing where to adjust your lifestyle.
Yes.
So that one can save.
Exactly, exactly. I know what is best for me, the same way you know what is best for you.
Turning hobbies into extra income.
Yes. So we are all very thinly spread out with
Yeah.
our current income. So what I am suggesting is we all have something that we love. You might love baking. Sell those cupcakes. Get extra income in. What about photography is the other thing that I've spoken about. Use your phone, your smartphone that some of us have, and take those pictures and start selling them. Build-A-Bear was started by somebody who loved making bears, and it's now a multi-million, multinational company. And it started with somebody who loved making bears.
So you say that there is scope to save for everybody, because I come across it often, and even in my own life, you think when you get your money, you get your income, you get your salary, and you allocate this to food, and allocate the next budget item to transport, and the next line item to electricity, and the next line item. And once you've covered all the necessities, you often look and you say, you know what, my income barely covers my expenses. Again, with the rising cost of debt and with so many people servicing debt from disposable income, you look at it and you say, do I even have enough money for my necessities? So how am I still going to save? But what you're saying is it doesn't necessarily have to come out of the income. It is creating savings.
Yes, yes. You touched on it so beautifully. So it's, again, a mind shift change of looking at your budget and starting from the income. I say move it to your expenses. Look where you are spending currently. Even look at your groceries. Plan what you want to buy beforehand, because we are all very tempted to take that packet of biscuits off the shelf and buy it. Rather say, no, I'm going to stick to my necessities that I have now. And I love what you say as well. There's hope for everybody. I want to challenge everybody to look at their current savings and see where they can set themselves small challenges.
There you have it, South Africa. Let's take up Hildegard on her challenge. We can save up to 90,000 Rand over a decade, 90,000 Rand over a decade, just by letting go of that one cappuccino a day. And if you stop smoking, 154,000 Rand over a decade. Putting it in those terms really is motivation to save, Hildegard.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you.